Welcome back, gamers. It is 2024. It's 2024, and I am here with Gina Travalina, and we are super excited to have you back. Just to keep elevating your entrepreneurial journey. And two, we're going to talk about the money, okay? Miss Gina Travalina is the COO of C2 Millions. So her company is committed to helping entrepreneurs on every scale find funding, and she can even teach you guys how to do it yourself. So if there's anything left, would you like to introduce yourself, Miss Gina?
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Gina, known as Gina Travalina. I'm originally from Hungary, and my passion is traveling, so that's why Travalina. And yeah, I have a company. It's called Credit to Millions. We help entrepreneurs to get their business funding, to get to $300,000 for their business, and to educate, because the American dream is real.
Yeah.
And yeah, the credit system in the U.S. is the best, for
Wow.
sure.
Yes. Credit in America is king. And I thought that it was only right that we start the year off with this conversation because it truly is game changing. And if I think back to when I had my spa, it's not that I didn't know about funding, but I just didn't feel like it was for me. It was a strange thing because I started off as a service provider. My mindset was just in a place where if I work hard enough and I save enough, then I'll be able to self-fund, which eventually played a part in me deciding to close my business down because when I hit a plateau, I just didn't have the reserves to push me to that next step. So I know there are many small business owners out there who may be in that position right now. So we're going to teach you guys how to really level up and get the funding you need so your business can be as big as you envision it. So
I love it. And I agree, because a lot of business owners don't know what's possible here. And they use their personal credit. I've seen everything, or paying cash.
Yeah.
When you can leverage credit, borrow the money, and scale your business quicker, because credit is the tool to get forward quicker.
yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy or difficult would you say learning credit is?
So for me, as a European, everything was new. In Europe, the credit system is totally different. The most similar to the US is probably the UK. But even like getting credit cards and getting mortgages, everything, we don't even have like a credit score. I mean, we have,
really?
but they don't really
Use
track
it.
it. Yeah. And yeah, to learn everything, it was great. How we actually bumped into credit, like because of my love of traveling. I met my fiance in Thailand, actually, while traveling.
Oh.
And he started to learn about credit. He's Colombian, used to live in Canada. And yeah, he was first, recognizing that how do these people travel for free by using credit card points and doing all this. And how we bumped into credit, actually all we wanted to do is to travel for free. And
So you're saying that's what essentially started the company because you love traveling.
yes.
Oh my gosh, get out of here. Okay, tell me more.
Yes, and also you scroll on Instagram and you see people are crushing online, and I just wanted to figure out how to work remotely, travel the world, and credit is also a long-term tool, because
Yeah.
I love seeing business owners, and we had even like 18-year-old clients who maxed out their credit cards to join our program, and now they are running their own business because of credit and traveling the world, in first class flights and all
Okay.
this.
Wow. Okay, so I have so many questions because I'm already sold on the idea, okay? I just need to know two things. So number one, once you got introduced to credit funding, what was what impact did it have on your life, on your business? Like, how did it change the game for you?
Yeah, first, when I started to learn about everything, my mind was blown away. At first, for example, I'm a foreigner. I'm not a US resident yet. So I was able to open a company in the US and get credit cards. And for example, this year I was able to take my dad to Croatia on credit card points.
Wow.
Thanks to credit. So credit is also a tool to give back, to your loved ones and take on vacations.
That's amazing. So, okay, let's say we have business owner, don't have any personal credit cards, don't have no credit cards. They come to you and they say, Georgina Travelina, okay, what do I need to do to get funding for my business? What would be like the first steps that they should take?
So the base of everything is personal credit. So there are like very least amount of banks who will give you funding without having a good base. So yeah, the first step will be to, we are saying an ideal account has 5 to 10 accounts. Accounts meaning like credit cards, loans, like all together on your credit profile. And yeah, over probably 720 credit score is an ideal score. But when you open the business, you can also start building your business credit. Because later on, once you start applying for business credit card and funding, it won't report to your personal.
Okay.
But the personal is the base of everything, pretty much.
Okay. Because the personal credit is what they're going to use to approve or deny the business credit? Is that how it
Exactly.
works? Okay.
Exactly, but the applications, they won't affect your personal score, but they still check. So you have to have the foundation
Right.
right.
So you're saying personal credit needs to be at least 720, right?
Yeah.
That's a good solid. You want to have at least, what, 10 trade lines?
Yeah, like as I said, credit cards, loans, everything together, like 10 accounts open is ideal.
Okay. And so, once you establish that solid foundation and let's say you get approved for a credit card, is there a way to liquefy those funds or would you have to just invest it with the credit card itself?
Yeah, what do you mean exactly?
So,
by
like, is
liquefy?
it, because I've heard some people say that there's a way that you can liquidate credit cards. I don't know if
Oh,
it's ethical or legal, but tell me. I want to know.
Yes, what you mean is manufacturer spending,
Okay.
which is like, yeah, you turn pretty much credit into cash. Yes, there are different methods. For example, if you have two companies, you have, I don't know, a marketing company and an accounting company. You could invoice, your other company and say, I don't know, consulting or marketing service, pay with a credit card and send the money back.
Okay. And so, like, what role does, like, revenue play in your approval odds? Like, do you need to be bringing in a certain amount of money or, like...
Yes.
Okay.
The method, what I explained, is it also helps to boost your revenue.
Oh. What method is that?
The manufacturer spending, it's just one example, the invoicing.
Okay. So, if you were to liquefy the credit cards and invoice, let's say, if you had two businesses invoice each other, that would show more income.
Exactly. Or, for example, we have clients who have like an Amazon business, for example, in e-commerce, you need to buy products.
Right.
So they have like a Amazon platform where they say, oh, my client ordered, I don't know, this type of screens or iPhones, whatever. But they are kind of maxed out of their credit cards. And you can go into the website and buy those phones or whatever items they need, buy for them, and then they will give you a check later on.
Wait a minute. They'll give you a check. How?
Yeah, like a commission, like because so you get your money back in cash pretty much.
Okay. I've never heard that one before. So it's almost like a not a money back guarantee, but it's like commissions or affiliate marketing kind of
Yeah,
setup.
it's like you buy the product, so their customers already requested a product, and you buy and ship to them, and you buy it with your credit card, and then they will send you the money back like later.
Drop
on.
shipping.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, I know a little something about drop shipping. I actually used to work for a company that built Amazon stores, and that's essentially what we did. And it was really great because while we were like maxing out the credit cards and boosting the credit limits on the back end, they were getting all these cashback points, and they were spending $20,000-$30,000 a month on these stores. So that was just like a really amazing business plan, and I'm grateful I got to see that. I think that kind of changed the way I looked at money. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's more out here. I hope you guys are like writing this stuff down because I didn't know this 3 years ago, man. And had we had access to this information, like imagine where our businesses would be. So yeah, write it down.
Yeah, so e-commerce is a typical business. They always need more money. They need to buy the product, so they need high limit credit cards.
Yep.
And we also work with a lot of real estate investors because that's another niche where they always need money. Like,
do they use credit in
I
real
mean,
estate investing?
there are several ways. For example, if they use the property for Airbnbs or if they do house flipping,
Yeah.
they also need to buy things. And it's not just credit cards, right? You can use credit in so many different ways.
Yeah.
But we love to leverage 0% high limit credit cards. That's for
Okay.
sure.
0% high limit credit card. So I have one stupid question, I think one valid question. Can you buy property with a credit card?
Not directly.
Okay.
Like
But
you
is there a way?
No, it's what we do. Yeah, they can get a credit card, and what we were talking before, if they need to liquidate the credit card and
Okay.
use that way, but
Okay.
not directly.
Okay, there's
And no question is stupid question, right?
I just wonder because like maybe I'll go get a credit card right now and wipe up all these buildings.
Yeah.
Okay, and so
But there are many different strategies, and in real estate specifically, we always recommend to do it on the company, like
yeah.
because then you're also protected.
Okay, so obviously there's so many ways that we can get our hands on business funding, and that brings me to the point, like financial discipline, because I can speak for myself when I say there was a time when I thought that the issue in my business was funding, and it wasn't. It wasn't. Money is not necessarily a fix-it. It is a accelerator. At least that's the way I look at it, or it's more of a tool. So have you ever experienced personally or ever, coached your clients and noticed that you helped them get the funding or you got the funding and they were not using it the right way?
Yeah, so in our community, we had like requests coming up, like also to educate on investments.
Yeah.
That's why we work with a lot of real estate investors, because actually we know, okay, they will take the funding, they will put in a real estate, or they will do their flip,
Yeah.
and they will get their money back. But obviously, if you get funding, and you shouldn't spend on like material things,
Right.
which don't give you ROI.
Right.
You shouldn't spend on like designer clothes. Or,
Right. On looking rich. Like you use it to make more money. That is the disclaimer. That's the fine print. When
Yes.
you get money, use it to make more money.
Exactly. Like use it for Facebook ads. That's
Yes.
okay. Like use it for marketing, because then you get the ROI.
Yeah.
Use it for real estate, or invest like in a business mastermind where you will get your ROI back. So
Yeah. Thank you for. I'm glad we had that conversation because there's somebody out there right now with their eye on those Chanel boots and they're ready to use this money the wrong way, and we're not having that. Okay, we're not having that in 2024. So obviously ROI is really important, and obviously timing plays a factor as well. So how much time do we have to pay back these credit cards?
I mean, it depends. Like, if with 0% credit cards, usually it depends on the bank, but they are 0% from, let's say, 12 to 16 months.
Okay.
So that's why it's good to use for real estate or even like within the year, you're sure you get your investment back.
Right.
But there are also charge cards and, for example, American Express has a lot of those.
Yeah.
It's great for traveling, but the interest rate is pretty high. So
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's how they'll get you with that. So what are some of your favorite cards?
okay, so we always talk about it like the best bank is probably Chase.
Okay.
My fiance is always saying like Chase is the bank you want to marry, and the other banks, they're just like the
The
side
fun
chicks.
girls.
and yeah, Chase. For example, on the personal side, the Chase Sapphire Reserve is really good for traveling, but it's the hardest to get
Okay.
because every bank has different rules. So when you apply for cards, we also do like credit card stacking, loan stacking. So we do like with one application, but you have to know the different rules of the different bank.
Okay. Okay.
For example, Chase is the one you always want to apply first because they care about inquiries. They have this 524 rule, which means you shouldn't have more than 5 inquiries in the last 24 months.
24 months?
Yes.
They aren't picky.
Yes. So you start with Chase and then you go to the other bank, like depends on your plan sequence. So obviously good to plan a sequence. But
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit more about like stacking? What exactly does that mean?
it means that you can apply, for example, for 20 credit cards at one time. It doesn't mean you will get approved for all of them. And I mean, so you can apply with different businesses, not just on a personal side, and do it all at once, so you get less inquiries.
Okay.
But also the inquiries which you didn't get approved for, it's possible to remove them. So
That is good. So that is how you're able to maximize the funding, essentially. Okay.
and get your score back up, because
Yeah.
if you do that, it can get a hit on your score. So
Right. I can imagine 20. I've never applied for 20 cards in my life. So.
yeah.
Oh, wow, Georgina. My mind is blown right now. Like, I feel like going to a bank immediately after this, okay? So I've had lots of fun talking about the money and learn about that. But, of course, it's a mindset podcast, so we want to get more into the personal side. Did you have to do any work internally to even get to the place where you saw this to be possible for yourself? Coming from a whole nother country was a big step. What was going on back then to help you get to where you are now?
Yes, definitely. I think inner work is really the most important part of entrepreneurship, because everybody will tell you in the beginning, specifically in the beginning, like, it won't work, or go back to safe. Like, I remember especially my parents, they are always worried, and they're like, oh, go back to your job. I'm like, no, I will make that work.
Yeah.
And I started to learn all this online business entrepreneurship probably during COVID times. Yeah, we were in Canada at that time. It was crazy lockdown. Gyms were closed. Everything was closed. So I'm like, what do I do? I learn new skills. And that was very eye-opening and best time for me to work on myself. And then we decided to move to Tulum, which everything was open there. And Tulum is also known as a place for personal development, like.
Yeah. Okay. I think that COVID was definitely a blessing and a curse for many of us because we can distract ourselves by being busy and with life.
Yeah.
And when the whole world is what it felt like is shut down, you have to really look at yourself in the mirror. And the world was also changing and very uncertain. So we had to start to think for ourselves. Like if we could never find a job again, how are you going to support yourself? So I think that it's always amazing to keep that sense of solitude, even though now the world is opening up again. Solitude is so important to really knowing where you need to grow and build and investing the time into actually doing that. I know a lot of times we get caught on scrolling and all of this stuff. And we think that just because it's good content, like this is good content, we think that we're actually learning. But I think it's so important for us to step away, read books, take time to integrate the things that we're learning into, what we're practicing so that it can stick, so that we can start to become that person that we need to become. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if you look at it, like the most successful people, the best businesses are always built in like recession or hard times.
Yeah.
Like COVID, it gives like new opportunities
Absolutely.
to grow and open up to new ideas because you have to get creative.
Yes, I love that. I love that because, business in theory, it looks so black and white. It looks so like boxy, but it thrives on innovation. And like you say, at those times when we are, in these recessions and we're under pressure as a unit, that's when you really know like what are we made of? Like what can we do to push the culture forward, the world forward? So.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like the world was shut down, but as I said, we moved to Tulum and we were traveling actually if nothing happened. It was like
really
more complicated with the COVID test and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, you can make it happen.
That's dope.
That's the beauty of entrepreneurship. It doesn't matter what comes.
Yep.
You'll make it happen.
Yep. It is definitely possible if you don't quit, you can't fail. That's always what I say. So we always like to close off with 3 game-changing gems. What were 3 pivotal moments in your journey that really expedited or elevated your success?
Yeah, I would say say some quotes. For example, start before you're ready. Because I was like, judging myself a lot or like not started to make videos like early enough. I'm also the operations manager of our business, by the way.
Yeah.
But started to do more videos and yeah, start before you're ready. And doesn't matter what, just show up. And also another big learning, what you were talking before, is like scrolling on social media, and we tend to compare ourselves to others. So don't compare yourself to someone's chapter 20 when you do your chapter 1, and give a little bit a pat on your back, you know, that you've done it. I tend to forget that too, but I told myself, 2024, I will do that more often.
That's amazing. I think that's super important. Celebrating the small wins motivates you to keep going. And I think I said in the last episode, success is a combination of small, consistent, positive steps. Those are the most important, So you have to like really recognize that, because how else are you going to keep going? And that's the only way to really get to that next level, if you just stick to it and step out of that comfort zone. So.
Yeah, you have to push yourself to be better, even 1% every day, and that's the secret. And for example, I always choose words of the year. And this year, my words are connection, consistency, and creation. And connection, so we are connecting
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
And I love it. And this is the power of social media.
Absolutely.
You guys are one message away from your dream client, from
Yeah.
your dream partner, whatever it is, what
Yeah.
you want.
Thank you, Georgina. That was incredible. And it's funny because before you said you have a word of a year popped in my head. Like, I just strangely. And I would say I really prayed about this year because I shared with you guys about my faith and how starting Game Changers was an act of obedience. This was me saying, I am going to do business with God, right? And so that last year was the first year of me actually walking with God, and it was completely different. And this year I said, I'm going to start out again. And before I go on a tangent of what this year is going to be, let me ask you, what do you have assigned for me this year? And he told me two things. He said, Siobhan, I want you to love like I love. And he also said, I want you to strive. Because last year, as I was just getting familiar with walking with God in business, there were a lot of times where I was just praying to him like a genie, right? And not really doing as much as I could do. And it was okay for that season because we just introducing ourselves. But now that I know who he is and I know how to stand firm on his word and I have a different level of faith, it is time to strive. So I am so grateful that we made this a reality. Again, this is the power of social media. Guys, you have to connect with her. Georgina Travelina, can you tell us how we can connect?
Yes. So best ways to connect is on Instagram, Gina Travelina. That's the easiest with double L. And I will reply to you. So yeah, that's the platform I use the most. So
All right. Well, there we have it. We're going to get this money this year, guys. Okay. Thank you again for tuning in. Another chapter in our book of entrepreneurship with God. And I am just so grateful, of course, for our sponsors here at Boss Nation Network. Until next week. Bye.